El Mencho. There's this guy. He actually looks pretty good for being, I think he was like 50 something. Um, Ultimately, let's get into some scenes. He was the leader of the cartel, the new Jalisco New Generation Cartel. He's the one that took over for El Chapo, if you remember El Chapo. And when he was killed, this is the outrage that happened all throughout Mexico. There is a no fly, no travel order, travel ban throughout Mexico. Look at these cars are burning. Why do they burn the cars? Because they try to stop police and military operations from going through the city. So this isn't just burning cars to show, I'm upset. We hate the fact that you killed our kingpin. No, it is, well, we don't know the extent of this attack. When he was killed out in what's the name of the city that he was killed in? Well, he was killed on the way to maybe to Mexico City. I think he was injured in his hideout. So what's happening is, if you're in the cartel, let's pause it there. Perfect. Let's pause that. If you're in the cartel, you're thinking to yourself, whoa, they just killed our guy. And the crazy thing about this guy is that he was in the 90s here in the United States. He was in California, and he got arrested for conspiracy to distribute. He was in the drug ring. He got arrested in California, served a couple years in jail, and then when he was released, where did he go to? Mexico. And then what did he do in Mexico? Became a police officer. This guy went from being a drug dealer in California, said, you know what? I see all the money flowing in. Let me go to Mexico. And he became a police officer. That is my biggest problem with all these governments. Mexico is kind of on the top of my list. There's a couple African governments there. Certainly some other ones that I can't talk about without getting letters and blah, blah, blah. But they're all crooks, corrupt. The police that you're getting stopped by just served drug time, and then later on went on to become the biggest drug kingpin in the city or in the country. So this chucklehead replaced, he was the head hitman for another cartel throughout the early 2000s and so forth. He was the head hitman for another cartel. He was so good that he got recruited by the opposite cartel, the new Jalisco cartel. What? When you start getting recruited from cartels because of how vicious you are, Tapalpa is where he was hiding out. That's where they found him. Shot him and like 4 other cartel bad guys. Bing, bing, bing. And then when they were trying to transport him to Mexico City, he died. I think they killed him. I wouldn't be surprised. Why would you want him alive? I mean, that no good things can come from him being alive. They're just going to try to break him out of prison. But long story short, the CIA, the DEA, everybody wanted this guy gone. And coming straight from the top, the president even said earlier this year, hey, Mexico, por favor, ustedes tienen que, en realidad, hacer algo con... Nah, he didn't speak in Spanish. Pero he did say, you guys got to do something with this drug and cartel problem because, you know, there's not bueno here for the USA. We got some bad hombres. So what happened? Mexico saw what happened in Venezuela. Trump said, if you guys don't do anything, we may send boots on the ground or drone strikes. We will classify, and they classified these cartels as terrorist organizations. And in the world of international diplomacy, when the United States categorizes you as a terrorist organization, that just means that you might start seeing shooting stars over your bunker and hideout pretty soon. So what comes next? Now, all of this, like, you know, if you were in all these Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, all of these tourist towns, they told you your flight ain't coming. You are all by yourself. That's why sometimes I don't like to go to Mexico. I actually have never been to Mexico. I know some people who have. No gracias. Instability. And who want to be stuck? Who? There's always something happening in Mexico. I don't know what the fascination with going to Mexico is. When I see a crowd of people coming this way up the border, why do I want to go that way? Sorry. If you are from Mexico, let me know. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, no, there's beautiful parts. Of course there are. Then there's the cartels. And then, but it's not even the cartels. It's that they're all in the government. They're all like, Mexico has the highest rate of like lawyers being murdered than anywhere in the world. It's crazy. It's lawless in some cases, but don't get me started. I guess you already have. But now here's the real kicker. No pun intended. FIFA. What's going to happen with FIFA? They canceled a couple games this weekend because of all the violence, right? They're like, well, we can't have these games. But guess what? They have games scheduled for the FIFA World Cup in a couple months. Whoa. Is all this instability going to carry on to the FIFA World Cup? You got cartels warning there will be violence. Now people are asking Dom, what does he think? I do not listen to me for your travel plans. Please don't. Consult your ambassador, your security, like whatever. Talk to your family if soccer means that much to you that you got to go to Mexico and see. But I will tell you that I don't think that these cartels have it in them to do anything crazy. Because, okay, this El Mencho got killed. There's going to be a power vacuum now. There's going to be somebody that comes in to become the top guy. El Mencho had a $15 million bounty on his head. $15 million. You imagine how many pesos that is. That's a lot of pesos. So now all we got to do is start looking for the guy who's ordering the extra family size taco bags. A lot of Mexicans, and I'm saying this with pure endearment, they like the big trucks. All my Mexican friends like the big trucks. We're just going to see the guy that last week was rolling in a small little car, but now he has a big truck with the nice rims, got a little bit of gold on them. We're going to know who got that 15 million. We're going to know pretty soon. But what's happening? Now there's going to be a number 2 guy that comes to number 1. That's all this happened. It's all about money, people. There is no trust and loyalty among criminals. So when you think about the FIFA World Cup, you got to start thinking to yourself, how is this going to help bring the money if they're stopping tourism from coming in? I don't think so. All these wild fans coming in, what do they love? They love soccer and drugs. Mexico, full of soccer and drugs. So I think, the Mexican cartel's involved in the avocado smuggling trade. So there's an out of opportunities. But more importantly, outside of the opportunity to swindle people into getting more money, I also think that Mexico cartels understand where their threshold is. They have a militia, no doubt about that. And I don't want no problems. Por favor, yo no quiero ninguno problema con ustedes. Just let me be. I'm just a guy with a show. But there are countries out there that will have representatives in Mexico. No, whether that's United States, England, all these, China, blah, blah, blah. And I know that those countries, the United States being the primary one, protects their citizens like no other country in the history of this earth that we know of. I mean, maybe like Han Dynasty China or whatever. But I think that if things get too rowdy, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's an excuse to go in and take over some Mexican territory. What? You guys couldn't protect our citizens? We will come in and we will take over some beachfront Mexican pavillas. I wouldn't be surprised. So I don't think that it's really going to happen. I think Mexico City, probably the reason that they executed this attack now on this tourist or terrorist group or cartel is because they want to prepare for this World Cup. So, it is what it is, but good for Mexico for advancing their national security. And Viva Mexico! Let's see how it turns out.